Peace, everyone, and good morning. I just wanted to share a little something that had come to me during my morning reflection. Lately, I've been doing a lot of healing work and internal work, and this has been one of the most challenging things to do in my life because I'm having to face the very person that I've avoided to face my entire life, and that's myself. I think that we have to master a lot of challenges in life, but the mastery of self is the most difficult thing to challenge. But anyhow, I'm reading this book by Iyanla Vanzant. It's called Peace from Broken Pieces, How to Get Through What You're Going Through. In the book, she said a passage that kind of stuck out to me. And it said, the voice I had accepted as divine guidance was actually the voice of my ego leading me right into destruction. I was being punished by God for not being able to tell the difference between the voice of God and the voices of my own self-made distortions. So, one of the things that I do besides the mediumship and psychic readings is that, a lot of people come to me for advice and guidance. And I've been giving a lot of advice and guidance on how people can feel worthy and how people can love themselves and how people can accept the things that have happened and take more control of their emotions and more control of their lives. But I realized that somehow I've lied to myself and convinced myself that I've mastered those, but in reality, I hadn't dealt with them. I suppressed them. So I live my life by this voice telling myself that I'm divinely guided to help all these people, but I haven't been divinely guided to help myself. So who was I listening to? Had to be my ego. I also realized that I was always on the move so much. I never really set aside time to really sit down and just be quiet and be still. Your intuition, your higher self, the voice of God, whatever you want to call it, whatever resonates with you, it's not this loud roaring voice that comes to you while you're moving around. Most of my profound visions and things that came to my intuition always came to me when I was in silence. And in silence, I realized that even though I've been attempting to help people deal with their own demons or their own feelings of unworthiness, I haven't dealt with my own. Those feelings of unworthiness, those feelings of low self-esteem, those feelings of guilt are still very much present. I just suppressed them. And one of the hardest things that I am doing right now is facing those things about myself and actually facing those lies and those distortions that I made up to myself. So even though I still have my daily spiritual practices and I still, try to live divinely, in which I do, I have failed to deal with one of the most important things that you need to deal with on the path, and it's yourself. It's unpacking all of these patterns that are passed on to me from generation and all of these decisions that I made and understanding them and changing these behaviors and changing the patterns. So a lot of the times, a lot of the ways that I react, I don't realize I'm reacting because I don't realize that I'm just moving in a patterned behavior. But now that I'm becoming aware of some of these behaviors, I'm able to change them. Most importantly, what I'm trying to say is that being poor, being broke, being abused, or being through anything I have been through, those weren't the challenge. The challenge was sitting down and hearing myself and looking at myself and understanding that the whole time, every problem that has manifested into my life has been at the hands of myself and how I reacted to them and how I responded to them. So whenever you sit down and you're going through things, and or if the same repeated things keep happening to you, like you keep meeting the same type of men or the same type of women, or you keep on losing the same type of jobs, or things just aren't going your ways, or you keep on rotating in these broken patterns, instead of looking at who's around you, take a moment to look at yourself and see why these things keep presenting themselves in your life, because it may be a pattern that you're presenting that needs to be broken. I hope peace stays with you.